So if we could start by being seated comfortably and turn your attention inwardly. And welcome your experience just as it appears to you. And simply be. Meaning you don't need to fix anything. You don't need to correct your thoughts or seek a different state. But be the welcoming space, which is effortless. It's the spaciousness of awareness. Resting as itself. You don't need to go into the past or the future. Simply remain unknowing, unburdened. Notice sensations in your body, whichever way they appear. The gentle breath. It is raining here, so the sound of rain. Effortless presence. Effortless presence is not seeking any experience. It's not trying to feel better or trying to experience something special. In and as presence, there is no separation. It's the peace of being, which does not know any separation, any duality, which is free from history, free from being any particular object, any particular person. Sensations and thoughts and perceptions are like the wind that sometimes it's gentle and sometimes it's louder. They're like the shape of clouds that appear and disappear in the open space of being. So invite yourself, invite your body mind to rest as that peace, which is God's peace within us. It's the same presence across time and space. There may be various thoughts and various experiences, but you as presence, awareness, are unchanging, changeless, formless. And this formless reality knows itself as I, not I, a male form or a female form, or not I, a person or an object, but I as the reality of consciousness. One I, one reality, one truth. It's okay and it's inevitable for the body mind to experience various situations, various conditions. And you can recognize the changeless, the unconditional I, unconditional reality of consciousness, which is not subject to situations and conditions. You are the totality, the wholeness, the globality of being. That's the true freedom, which cannot be removed from you. And in your experience, there is the world, the body, the mind. Which is there for you to navigate, to experience, to contemplate, to manage. But you are not the body mind which you manage, which you perceive, which you experience. When you confuse yourself to be the body, you substitute God's mind with a human mind, a personal mind. You limit your globality, your totality, God's wholeness and infinity to your personality, the personality of the body mind. You imagine a personal will and a personal doership, which belongs to the personality, which you imagine and feel yourself to be in the darkness of your understanding, in your veiled understanding. But God's light is available to all of us equally. The wisdom of the self, the wisdom of consciousness is available to all of us equally. via your contemplation and your inquiry into the reality of your experience, which is not something that you perceive, but that which perceives. And via living as this reality of consciousness, living according to the principles of consciousness. Which would be to honor everything and everyone as you honor thyself. And to treat everyone and everything with fairness and honor, without disregarding your freedom and your honor, which is on loan to you, which is God's freedom. Given to you and given to everyone equally. Okay, so if you would like to share any questions or comments or anything you would like to explore, please make sure to unmute your mic, and you're welcome to turn on your video. This way we can see each other. So any questions?
Yes, hello, Magdi.
Hello, George.
Hi there. I wanted to ask you about the power of belief. According to a reliable source that I just read, more than half of Republicans believe Trump's false claim that Biden didn't actually win. That's a lot of people. And the fact I have may not be right. It may not be more than half. It may be less than a half, or maybe even a third. But in any case, it's a large number of people. So the first question is, why do they believe it? Do they believe it because they just paid attention to unreliable sources? Or did they believe it because it's something they really wanted to believe, or both? Now, in either case, I can have some compassion for them. And now that they know the truth, what after effect will that belief have of them? But Magdi, I'm not really asking about that group. I'm really asking about a different group. I'm asking about the 99.82% of people who believe that they are separate body minds.
Yes.
And I was a member of that group, struggling to free myself from it.
Yes.
And, these people were surrounded by a culture that fosters that belief. So my question for you, well, firstly, I need to have some compassion for myself, just as I have compassion for these other people. But my question for you is, how do we diminish the after effects of that belief? In other words, now that I know that this belief is false, it's still in my body, it's still affecting me. What else can you say about this?
Yeah. So once there is clarity that I refers to presence, to awareness, and not to the body. The name George refers to the body, the qualities of male aspect of the body, etc. Other aspects of the body refer to the body, but I refers to awareness, to consciousness. Once there is clarity about that, and this, of course, this clarity is not to be taken for granted. There is an inquiry which you've been very seriously involved in that leads to the understanding that, yes, I refers to awareness, presence, the reality, whatever it is that perceives, whatever it is that is, which we refer to as consciousness, awareness, presence. So that understanding is one of the aspects of the maturity, one of the facets of the maturity. The other aspect of the maturity is that this understanding becomes lived, that we live this understanding until this understanding is sort of living itself through us, or living itself across the board. So in your question, you are referring to the second aspect of the maturity, of the ripening, which is to live according to the understanding that there is one I, one reality, which is impersonal, which is doesn't belong to any particular tribe or any particular intelligent body mind. So to live according to this understanding. Now, the ignorance, meaning the belief that I am the body mind, I am born, I exist in time and space, that I am this bundle of thoughts and images. Ignorance has also a feeling aspect to it. I feel that I am sitting on this chair. I feel that I am inside this room. I feel that I am me. In other words, there are feelings are sensations within the body plus an interpretation. So there's a feeling is a sensation. The feeling that I am sitting in this chair, for example, is composed of a sensation and an interpretation of this sensation. One could say maybe they're so quick that we just experience just the feeling, hey, I'm sitting on this chair. It's true that the body is sitting on this chair, but I'm not talking about the body sitting on this chair. I'm talking about I am sitting on this chair, meaning I, awareness, I, consciousness is sitting on this chair. So there is a different type of contemplation than in the second aspect of the maturity than the first aspect of the maturity. That different type of contemplation is the contemplation of how the body at the sensory level is manifesting the aspect of ignorance, how it is expressing no longer the belief that I am in me, but the sense, the feeling that I'm in me. So that contemplation is an important contemplation. What usually happens once we comprehend that, oh, well, I am awareness, there's only awareness, one reality, which is awareness, is that life will continue to present to us situations where we will feel that I'm in me and life is not treating me correctly. So there will be situations that life will present itself every day, maybe in subtle ways and sometimes in even more noticeable ways, situations that bring up the feeling that I am the feeling, no longer the belief, the feeling that I am George, that I am this man, that I am this person. It's one of the dangers, let's say, in spiritual contemplation is to arrive to the understanding I am consciousness and to still experience the sense of me, the me feeling, which is unhappy. In other words, we still experience unhappiness, and to come to the conclusion that, yes, the ultimate understanding is that I am consciousness, but unhappiness also is part of it. That is having a fruit in your hand, and it looks very beautiful, very shiny, but the other side of the fruit is rotten. You need to see that it's incomplete, that the journey is incomplete. And you need to continue your contemplation, which is the contemplation of the me feeling.
Okay, thank you. What's interesting is you've sort of told me that before. And what happens, well, first of all, I forget, but it's worse than that I forget. It's almost as if that there's a saboteur somehow. I don't mean it physically, some saboteur living inside of me, which really wants to keep the separate self alive, keep the body mind alive, almost like it doesn't want to die easily, and it's very heavily armed.
Yes, but no matter how heavily armed, it is powerless in the face of truth. and the love of truth which is within us, it is powerless in the face of God's might.
Okay, thank you. It's been putting up a pretty good battle so far, but anyhow, okay, very good. Thank you, Magdi.
In the battle, don't be a participant to a battle, to this battle.
Oh, yes, you're right.
This battle is the remaining throes of a dying impression. You don't need to embody this dying impression. Simply remain as the observer of that process, which is a process that is a diminishing echo. And the more you remain as the passive observer of this process, the more and more faint the echo will be.
Yes, thank you. I see what I've been doing is I've been engaging in a battle. And I can see now that that's not the, okay, I get it now, yes.
Yes, you have to be watchful of your participation, your collusion in giving power to that which is powerless.
Yes, and you used a great word, collusion. That is, it was sort of like inadvertent collusion. Okay, very good. Thank you.
Okay, George.
Hi, Magdi.
Hello, Anna.
I have two questions. The first one is, like, in terms of gender fluidity or gender neutral, where like more people are identifying as that, is does that come from like truth?
No.
Huh.
No, it does not come from this. To identify a body mind does not come from truth. There is that that joke of this this fellow goes to his psychiatrist. He believes he's a mouse, and he's afraid of walking out because there are cats around. So he goes to this therapist. He says, you know, you need to help me. I am a mouse. And there are lots of cats around. So the therapist, works with him, and eventually he, after many sessions, he realizes, oh, yeah, I am not a mouse. Thank you, doctor. Thank you very much. I really, really saved me, and he walks out of the doctor's office very confident, very happy. And a minute later, he comes back knocking on the therapist's door. The therapist opens the door and he tells him, what's going on? Why are you coming back? So he said, doctor, I understand I am not a mouse. But the scat out there doesn't know it. Doesn't know that I'm not a mouse. So coming back to your question, to the sense of malehood or femalehood is like the sense of being a mouse, you know. You are not.
Wait, so one second. Like the story that you told, so him coming back means that he didn't really understand that he's not a mouse, right?
Well, yeah, he came back saying, you know, I'm not a mouse. I know I'm not a mouse, but the cat doesn't know that I'm not a mouse. It's just a joke. Just a joke.
I don't get it. I don't get the joke. Because like if he gets that he's not a mouse, then the cat knows that he's not a mouse, right?
No, he goes out and he sees a cat, and then he comes back to the doctor saying, the cat doesn't know I'm not a mouse. I know I'm not a mouse, but the cat doesn't know it. So obviously he didn't get it, you know.
Okay. Yeah.
Anyways, it's just a joke.
You were saying like
the body,
yeah.
The body is a female or male body. So because of the ignorance, meaning not knowing our transparency, our infinity, our reality, the truth about what I is, we have been feeling and experiencing that we are the male or a female. So yes, that is ignorance. That's not wisdom. The fact is that you perceive the body. You perceive the body that we call Amna or Magdi or whatever. We perceive the images of Magdi and Amna. I perceive a male form, you perceive a female form, etc. But we are not that which we perceive. We perceive the oak tree. We are not the oak tree. We perceive a sensation, but we are not the sensation. So there is quite a difference between knowing that I am presence, I am awareness, and I am a female body or a male body. It's a difference between day and night. Yes?
Yeah.
Yes. So once you come to the understanding that, okay, I am consciousness, the feeling may remain. That was pertaining to George's question. The feeling may still be on board that I am a woman, or I am a man, or I am somebody. So there is a contemplation at the feeling level, which is also required. It's not sufficient to comprehend. Of course, it's an important comprehension, an important understanding, but it does not completely dissolve the feeling that I'm a male or female form.
So these people that identify as gender fluid, or I don't know what the correct term is, or gender neutral, gender neutral or gender fluid.
Yes.
They're basically just
that's still a gender. That's still an identification with a form, no matter which way the form is defined by the mind, whichever way the experience is still a form, right?
Yeah.
It's still a form, even to be sort of a new gender, whichever way it's defined by the feelings and by the thoughts, by the images, whichever way it's defined, it's still a form. So as long as you're referring to consciousness, meaning that which you are as a form, in any type of form, it is incorrect. It is limited, unhappy, and false.
Okay, Thank you. So my second question is,
Now
like
you
in the
may
past,
be experiencing a certain gender, whichever way it is, and so that is an aspect of the body mind, and so you honor that. Whatever, you honor that, whichever form it takes. It doesn't have to be male, female, or whatever. It's what you honor that, and you manage that, you navigate that. Yes, but you are not that. Okay? That's a very important point. Yes, you could.
yeah.
Not all service is equal. It's not a communist restaurant where everybody is served the same meal. It's not a jail like where they serve you a label of gruel, soup, whatever, to everybody the same. No, it's very different. But it's at the body-mind level. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right. Well, I was gonna ask
I
something
know
else,
that
but
in
I
this
want.
realm, there are a lot of judgments. There are a lot of there is a lot of judgment because of identification. You see, there is a tribalism at the body-mind level. There is this tribe versus that tribe, and so there are groupings which are a result of ignorance. So we are this team, we are that team, and you are this team. Oh, you are not in that team. That's very unhappy. The unhappiness you will find in the body-mind realm is not the result of the body-mind. It's a result of identification, you see. We mistreat each other. We mistreat the world. We mistreat the body. We mistreat the oceans. We mistreat everything that we mistreat out of ignorance, out of the sense of separation. Anyways, that's sort of a side note.
As I've been inquiring, I'm noticing like a strong attachment to this body.
Hey, what?
Like a strong attachment.
Oh, okay. Strong attachment, yes.
To this body.
Uh-huh. What is attaching itself to the body? What's attaching itself to the body?
I am.
What do you mean by attachment to the body? Like, what do you mean? Like you, like, like you. What is it you want again? You want What is it? Can you say some more about attachment to the body?
Yeah, like it's like this body is so important, and like fear of anything happening to it. Fear of it.
That makes sense. I mean, it's the body is important. I mean, up to a point. I mean, if there is going to be lightning that's going to hit the body is going to be killed.
Yeah. So there's like fear.
We're not going to walk in front of a bus, right?
Yeah, but I feel like it's an extra.
Right.
It's extra.
And caution and precaution makes sense, but the psychological fear, then that's so there is a caution that's appropriate to every situation.
So I'm talking about logical fear.
Illogical fear?
The psychological.
Yes, which is illogical. Yes, psychological fear is illogical, right? Because the psychological fear is the core of our unhappiness. Our unhappiness is psychological. It's not physical. Right. And so this is what we talk about, actually. We're talking about this belief and the feeling that I am the body. So because if you feel and believe that you're the body, then you are going to experience psychological sense of concern and worry, and there's going to be worry. You're going to be the future images and thoughts about the future and sensations, feelings within feelings, which are sensations and thoughts. There's going to be a lot of those happening. And it goes on and on. It goes on and on until you are taking the inquiry into that belief. When you come to the inquiry and the belief that I am Magdi in time and space. When you inquire into that, you find that is not actual. The actuality is the actuality of presence, of awareness, right? Yes? The actuality is
I don't know what you mean by the actuality.
The factuality?
Like the truth is that there's presence.
Yes, that I am presence. Not that there is presence, that my experience is experience of awareness. That the reality is awareness.
Yeah.
The truth is awareness. It's not some thought or some belief or some feeling. It's the experience of awareness, right? I mean, this moment, whatever it is that perceives, is not a female. It's not the body that perceives, it's awareness. The body is the instrument. It's an instrument, right?
Mm-hmm.
But behind the instrument, as a way of speaking, is awareness. Right? So your attachment to the body is like trying to take an image is made out of thought and pouring epoxy, turning it. You want to attach yourself to that image. So we want to solidify. You want to make permanent that which is impermanent. It's not possible, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because images and thoughts and feelings and sensations and the body, whatever you call the body, is a field, an open field of sensations and thoughts and perceptions.
How do I think there are ways that you, okay, 1 second. Oh, I wonder if there are ways that I'm solidifying that feeling and belief, and are there ways to loosen them up?
Yes, well, you can notice that everything that appears to you is constantly appearing and disappearing, and that which is continuous in your experience is not amna, it is awareness. So turn your attention towards that which is constant in your experience, which is unchanging in your experience. And I don't mean disregard amna, no. If there is hunger, or if there is tiredness, or if there is a feeling to go for a swim, whatever, you can tend to the body-mind. But turn your attention to that which is constant in your experience. And it's not amna, it's not the story of amna. It is.
Okay, how do I turn my attention to that?
Notice that whenever you are unhappy. You are Amna. And the rest is no problem. And relax and trust, letting go, trust. Trust being, just being, without knowing. Trust not knowing. Don't rely on structures and compositions and forms. And remain as the vastness, as whenever you notice you're holding on, let it go. Whenever you notice a contraction in the body, invite it to to its freedom, to the space, to it's there. You don't. It's not about any effort. It's fluid, more fluid. It's not. It's more curvilinear. There are no angles. No, it's not. No sharp turns. It's very fluid. So enjoy being. Enjoy the happiness, the easy way, the path of love and beauty and peace, which is not by you doing anything. It's there. You have to sort of more of a relaxing your in your beliefs. Relax, soften your beliefs. Don't hold on to them. Your identity. Don't hold on to your identity. Don't hold on to any feelings or sensations. Don't define yourself by the feelings or by any images, any thoughts. Remain undefined.
It's in a different direction of figuring out, right?
Oh no, no figuring out. No, yes, it is a different direction than the figuring out. Figuring out is maintains the problem and a problem solver or something like that. It meant no. It's not. It's a different direction than figuring it out. You don't need to figure out God. God figures itself out. It's just simply don't reduce your experience to your thoughts and your feelings. Don't reduce God, the mystery of being, to your mind and your feelings. Your mind and your feelings, your thoughts and your feelings, they don't belong to you. They're like the wind. So don't hold on to your thoughts and your feelings. So it's not about figuring anything out. Not to hold on is not about figuring anything out.
You said that, sorry, because somebody opened the door, so I got distracted for a moment. You said figuring out maintains something to be figured out, and someone.
Yeah, maintains like something to figure out, and somebody that hopefully will figure it out. It maintains a duality, and it maintains some sort of problem. God, I hope I figure it out. I hope I will figure it out. How am I going to figure it out? It's not about figuring anything out. It's all figured out in God's mind. It's all figured out. You don't need to figure it out in your human mind. God created the mind. God created the world. Let her figure it out. Right?
Yeah. So, okay. So the experience with, like, if I notice any tension in the body, to like relax and.
Sure. I mean, there is some tension that's justified, which is practical. If you're driving in traffic, that's really good to relax. Even when you're driving in traffic, it's good to relax. But, okay, but you're right. And psychological, yes, you're right.
And so if there's fear or anger or whatever comes up, to just not.
Yeah. When there is fear, you already are in the emotion. Means when there is fear, you've already. It's too late. You've already held on. You already committed the sin. Okay, I'm just using this language. Okay, let's not go into sin. You already used the wrong model. Yes. So now there is fear. So when there is fear, it's a little bit too late, But as a way of speaking, it's too late, meaning you cannot let go of the fear because you're already in a sense of separation. You're already experiencing that the bull is charging you and you have to really, I don't know if you're going to survive this attack. But so after the fear, okay, you need to contemplate that, the fear is a result of taking the position that I am Amna. I am this body, mind. I am this person. Oh my God, what's going to happen to me tomorrow? So you see it after the fact. Usually, when the gears are engaged, the motor is already running, you see? But that's okay. It's not a big deal. You can always perceive it after the fact. Aha. This is what happens when I assume myself to be Amna. Fear, depression, anxiety, the sense of lack engages. So you are afraid when you limit yourself. When you limit yourself and you limit, of course, the other. When you objectify yourself, there is fear. And you objectify yourself out of the sense that you must do that, that you need to do that. But whenever you objectify yourself, because you feel you need to do that, you are unhappy. So maybe the belief that you need to do that is a false belief, that you need to do that. So you have to work on that belief that you must take a position, you need to take a position. And any position that you take, the psychological position, is incorrect. Yes?
Yeah.
So be like the water, like water. Water sometimes is vapor, sometimes is ice, sometimes is rain, sometimes is fog. But it's not holding on to any position.
That's nice. Thank you.
Okay, Anna. There is a question that was mailed to me, and so I will reply to it, and I will send the video over. Hola, I'd like to address a question for today's satsang. Okay, I have to work. Okay. There is the fear of rejection and abandonment that haunts me in every romantic relationship. And that has been the cause of many conflicts with my partners. I have tried to heal it through years of therapy and non-dual understanding, but it keeps arising over and over again. When this feeling of rejection and abandonment is not present, I experience peace, confidence, and joy with my partner. But at some point, something happens, and insecurity and anxiety cloud everything, and I cannot see things in their right perspective. The mind becomes obsessed with things based on that. The mind becomes obsessed with ideas, and the body feels restless. It lasts for a while and then it fades away. But while it is present, I sometimes act and say things based on that distortion, and then I feel ashamed. I know it's not a healthy ingredient for a relationship, but I don't know how to remove it from my experience. Okay, so the fear. Oh, can you hear me? Something happened to the audio.
Yeah,
Okay.
I can hear you.
I can hear you now.
Yeah, something happened. I'm not sure. Okay.
You were reading, and then you got cut off.
Oh, okay. Did you hear the whole? Did I read the whole thing? Did you hear the whole thing, or was it cut off?
It was cut off about, I don't know, halfway through. It depends.
Oh, okay. So let me reread the last two paragraphs. The mind gets obsessed with ideas, and the body feels restless. Yeah,
Yeah, you can read from there. That'd be good.
The mind gets obsessed with ideas, and the body feels restless. It lasts for a while, and then it fades. But while it is present, I sometimes act and say things based on that distortion, and then I feel ashamed. I know it's not a healthy ingredient for a relationship, but I don't know how to remove it from my experience. Okay, that was a question. So about the fear of rejection and abandonment in romantic relationships, in any relationships, is a normal fear as a body-mind, as a person. Because in the realm of the humanity, the realm of the human, rejection and abandonment is a normal thing. So for you to expect not to be rejected and abandoned is a false expectation. So I would recommend that you get on board with the possibility of rejection and abandonment of the personality, because personalities are different when they are changing. They are subject to the weather, the psychological weather. And so at some time, I don't care for you any longer. I care for something else. So that's how it is in the realm of the human realm. And you say it's been a cause of conflict with your partners because of your false expectation. You're expecting not to be rejected and not to be abandoned. So because you're expecting not to be rejected and you're expecting not to be abandoned, you don't have a freedom. You don't experience the freedom from rejection. You are not open to the rejection and to the abandonment. So if you are open to the rejection happens, okay, cool. It's time for rejection, not a problem. You are not holding on to the camp. You are not in any camp. The camp of, hey, I am not to be rejected. That's a limited camp. I would say have your foot in both camps. I'm open not to be rejected, and I'm open to be rejected. I am open not to be abandoned, to be loved, and I'm open to my partner not loving me anymore. So you may think, well, that's an impossible thing to do. I don't know. I'm just, because you are not present here, I'm speaking with you virtually. So I'm speaking with myself anyway. So if you think that's not possible, then you are undermining yourself. You are torpedoing yourself because you're saying it's not possible. So if you say it's not possible, then that's your choice. You say it's not possible, and therefore you still remain in the camp that I should not be rejected or abandoned. And hopefully you will not be. Now, that's one point I wanted to share with you. The other point is to understand that the fear of rejection belongs to the body-mind. It doesn't belong to consciousness, to you, what you truly are. What you truly are is, it doesn't give a hoot about rejection. So you have to sooner or later come to the understanding of that which you truly are. Not a cool person, not a loving person, not an unloving person, not the personality. That you are consciousness, that you are the infinite, invisible. You are the formless reality, the formless self. And when you are loving when you are in a relationship and there is love, it's not about the other person. It's about love. It's experience of love. You're experiencing the love which is within you, and somehow it is let's say shining or directing itself towards the relationship or in the relationship. But it's not coming from the relationship. There is nothing that comes from the relationship. Everything that comes from consciousness, from the source. And you in the relationship, your relationship is with love itself. It's with beauty itself. It doesn't come from outside of yourself. It doesn't come from your partner. It doesn't depend on your partner. When you feel that it comes from your partner, comes from outside of yourself, or it's coming from yourself as the body, from the body, then there is a concern about losing it. Will she continue to love me? What if I mess it up? And what if I don't smile correctly or speak correctly or act correctly? All these are limitations and unhappy. That's not a celebration of love or beauty or freedom or happiness. They're more shadows and unhappy aspects of thinking and feeling, which is this connected in about this sense of I'm this person, I'm this limited self, this personality. Hopefully I'm a likable personality. You are not a personality. And personalities may like each other or not like each other. It's at the personality level, but you are not a personality. You have to come to the freedom from the personality so that the personality is no longer an obstacle in your relationship or an obstacle for yourself, for your own happiness. The personality is an interpretation of love and beauty. It's not love and beauty itself. It's a caricature, but and it's okay as a caricature as long as you don't take the caricature to be the reality of the self. So you say you've tried to heal it through years of therapies. Therapies have a limited assistance, a limited help, a limited reach. They're not about happiness. Therapy is about bettering your life. But in relationship and in your life, if you don't come upon the happiness, the causeless happiness, then there will still be a next appointment with a therapist. You write, when the sense of fear and rejection is not present, I experience peace, confidence, and joy. Yes, absolutely. But at some point, something happens, and insecurity and anxiety cloud everything, and I can't see things in its right perspective. Yes, insecurity and anxiety. The thing that happens is that you confuse yourself with a personality. You, meaning awareness, consciousness, the infinite, invisible, confuse yourself with the form. You write, the mind gets obsessed with ideas and the body feels restless. Yes, and the ideas that you would obsessed with is about the personality, about me. And of course, the body is just, and the body and the mind go hand in hand. You write, it lasts for a while and then it fades away. But while it is present, I sometimes act and say things based on that distortion. Okay, so as much as possible, when this sense of rejection and abandonment is present, remain still, don't act. As much as possible, don't act. So that's some homework for you. When rejection and abandonment arises, just be silent, be still, don't act. Don't say anything, just don't act. And you write, and then I feel ashamed. Well, if you don't act, you don't feel ashamed. You won't feel ashamed. Just don't act and be unhappy maybe, but it's okay. Don't act. Don't take it to the next step. And the more you remain still, and not act out, the less powerful the next bout will be, and the more capable you will be with remaining still. And in time, the peace that...
Steve, I think you're frozen again.
Now he's back.
He's back.
And he's muted now.
I don't know, there must be some problem.
Are you muted again?
No, I unmuted myself.
Okay.
We heard you up until the more you remain still.
Yes, okay. The more you remain still, the more the peace that is at the heart of the stillness will become your experience. So the peace and the freedom that is with the peace will grow in you. So, and be watchful not to tell yourself, oh no, I cannot do that and all this. I know that there is going to be some rebellion at the mind level because the mind wants to continue to. So be watchful of that. The idea that the negativity. It is possible to be still in the middle of the sense of rejection, abandonment. Take my word for it. I've been there. I know that firsthand. So it's not a magical thing, you know. Just it's an inner stillness. It's a willingness to just remain still. You say yes to, okay, fine. I'm being rejected. She doesn't like me, doesn't love me, whatever. Feeling rejected, abandoned. I can feel that. I can experience that. I can experience that. Now, the mind is going to try to spin you out of the stillness. So it's a process of keep returning it to the stillness. And the stillness is simply being present to whatever is arising. That whatever is arising, the thoughts and the sensation and the feelings are just an arising. And it's not like I'm going to be still so that later on I will feel better. That's not stillness, it's an activity. It's a stillness that has no purpose. Okay? And so, well, why should I be doing something that has no purpose? That's the argument. That's the mind coming back and saying, wait a minute, I need a purpose. I need something to, I need a horse to ride. I need a goal. I have an arrow to shoot. Where is the target? Give me a target because I'm an arrow shooter. The mind operates this way. So anyways, it's a work in progress, and relationships are in a way homework that God gives us to eventually to come to the freedom, which is our true nature, our true self, our true, which is not dependent on being loved, which is completely unconditional freedom, unconditional happiness. So this is what the sages speak about. It's not a theory. It's not like a story. It's not a story. It's our destiny and it's our reality. Bon. Any questions? Okay. Well, very lovely to be with you all. Thank you, Holger, George, Hola, Maria, Esther, Holly, Kelly, Zoe, Jenny, Frank, John, Amna, and Charlie. Thank you.
Thank you, Magdi.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, Magdi.
Thank you, Magdi. Thank you so much. Thank you.